Hey there friends, this is Ayesha, Youngspapercreations. I am not 100% sure how well you're able to see what I'm doing. You're probably just seeing a lot of black here. What I'm actually doing, I'm in the process of making some large flowers that will be going onto a wall, and I actually have to make black, yellow, white, and rose gold. I'm finished with the yellow. I am finished with the white. I'm working on the black, and then I've got the rose gold to complete. So I'm doing roughly about 13 each. And basically I have a template die that I cut out, and then I use cardstock to have the image, and then I cut that, I use that as my pattern for my flower. Um, so there's a couple of layers. There's 4 layers, but if you want, you can actually make a 5th layer by just going outside of the lines and making the formation a little bit larger. What I will do at the very end is to create a very much smaller flower that will go into the center. But another option to do is to use one of the large rhinestone. So I actually will be using a much smaller flower to go into the center. And I actually have some leftover samples here to show. So I would just form the flowers, do all the pretty stuff, and then that would be going into the center of this large flower, which then would carry a very like a, I don't know what, a quarter of an inch rhinestone in the center of that. So at first I wanted to use a different color, perhaps to set the flowers apart, but I decided to go with color on color. So the white's finished, the yellow is finished. I'm doing the black now, and I thought maybe I'll do 2 so you can see. I love making flowers, and this one customer actually ordered, she said she want a whole like wall backdrop, and so that's what these flowers are going to be for. It probably will end up being like 40 something of the larger flowers, and then for the much smaller ones, those will be brooches. So I've got 225 brooches to make. This is all needed next year, but because it's so easy to get caught up and busy, I need to do this ahead of time and get it into her hands so that I'm not worrying about this when I have other customers' projects to do. So let me show you an example of a layer. So I placed 2 to 3 layers already. I'm just going to do the last 2, and then I will leave the smaller flower to be plugged into the center. So when I layer, when you cut out your flowers, you're going to have a pattern, and I fold it so that it cuts out like this. So 2 of these is what you will be layering. So for example, I'm just going to put a little bit of hot glue here using a glue gun. Layer this. It is still warm. You want it to stay warm because you need to fold. So I'm going to put this a little bit at the bottom. Be mindful with black on black because it's going to leave a white residue on black. And I'm going to plug this down into the center here. And I'm using the back of my owl to really form the center and the flower. I'm looking for my paper to form the shape as much as possible, because paper, if left open for a long time, depending on if you're not doing a good job, it could take the, over time, the shape will decrease. I want to maintain that as much as possible. And the good thing about the glue gun is that, of course, when the glue hardens, when the glue dries, it hardens, right? So it holds the shape for you. So beautiful. Now I'm going to do one more layer, a much smaller layer on top of this, and that will finish off this flower. So I cut out all of my shapes, all of my patterns, and have them ready, so that I just have to glue and layer. I'm going to go to another one only because I can't find the last layer that I needed. So in essence, that's what you do. So that's one, that one just needs the last layer. I measure my paper because I want to make sure I'm getting the same exact size for my layering. And again, I put a little glue there, make like an X on top of that. What you don't want is the oozing out of the glue, like I just got a little bit there. I get my flower ready, put a little glue at the bottom, not too much because you don't want the oozing. And you want to crisscross into your space. And then again, you take something with a round bottom. In this case, I'm using an owl that I use for my journals. Again, you all know that I sell my journals. At this time, I'm really looking forward to bringing the knowledge of journaling and junk journals to my ladies in Canada, Toronto, and the church environment. So they're all $45. They're soft cover journals, vintage papers, so beautiful. So when you're journaling, they're so pretty to look at. They're great as gifts and such. So I need to make sure I'm inviting all of you to share my work, pass the videos on, everything repeatedly to your friends, because with repetition of seeing them, they'll be interested one day and they will be blessed, and so will you. So get the journals. Come on, guys. So yes, so I just did a layer there, so I've got one last layer. Once the last layer goes on, and what's the last layer? Well, just a smaller version to the one I just put on, so that it's a layering effect, right, of a flower. And then I will take a small prepared flower and embed that into the center with a little rhinestone, and this will be all completed. When I'm finished, I will come back and show you within maybe a week or so. It depends on if I leave this to do something else. This is very time consuming, but it's a pastor's wife that ordered it, and I knew her since I was a much younger than my current age. So it was such an honor um, to get that order. So I'm gonna leave this and go on to another one. So you guys, you get the idea, right? It's just so beautiful. And again, always remembering to measure your layers so they're appropriate. You don't want to get one short, one long. No, you don't want that. So I think you get the gist. So I've got a number of them. That's why you're seeing all of these before you. I love creating flowers, guys. Love creating flowers. And these are so beautiful as they're formed. I hope you're able to see the formation of them. I'll turn off the light for a quick second to see if there's a difference. No, it's much too dark for you to make out the flowers, right? Much too dark. Yeah, so this is Ayesha at Young's Paper Creations. Thank you so much. I hope you really enjoyed seeing this. I just love flowers, and being the creator of these paper flowers, what an honor and a privilege just to sit and create. But again, I have journals available. They're $45. Beautiful um, journals. Very ladylike, very elegant. And listen, we women, we deserve to be spoiled. And, you know, someone described it best about flowers and planting flowers and how we love to do that, right? But we don't go and crush them to create perfumes or whatever, right? We just want to look at those beautiful flowers in our garden. And that's in essence what the journals are, except you can write in them. My journals are writing journals. You can use them for prayer notes, sermon notes, thoughts, ideas, whatever you want. But remember, Habakkuk 2 2 to 3 talks about writing your visions, making it plain. And so we want to do that because we know God knows best. And again, Young's Paper Creations, take care. I'm going to turn off the camera and continue to create. Take care. Blessings. Bye bye.